review for Mr. Wagner's social studies class. What we've been up to. We've been preparing our slideshows. Got a lot of slideshows handed in my drive here, shared to me. Students had to present on New England, Middle, or Southern colonies. Most presentations were excellent. And I also gave students the option to fix things that were, in my opinion, nitpicking, but I really like them to have the bibliography done the proper way. And let me see if I can help you out. Show what I mean by bibliography done the proper way. Sample slideshow. Let's see. If I scroll to the bottom, this bibliography has the textbook in the proper bibliographic format. Some students just write down the name of the textbook, and that's not quite enough. Then when you look up anytime you borrow a picture, copy and paste it into a presentation, you're supposed to put what you typed into Google, like Middle Colonies, the day you went online, and the link. So then it's also, is it in alphabetical order? For the most part it is. So that was one thing that students lost points on. I didn't take any points off for having a lot of information on the slide. Like this is 2 slides here, but I didn't really do deductions this time, but I might in the future. And then the other issue was just they didn't have any pictures in the slides, or if there was major vocabulary missing. But most students did rather well. I am going to share a file I made with basically the best New England, Middle, and Southern. It's a massive slideshow to all of the students, so they can use that during the tests that we take on the 27th and 28th. In addition, I am going to share a previous version of the test from previous years. This is basically our study guide, and then the test will be mostly questions moved around in a different order. I might cut out an outlier question that I know most students will get wrong and add another question. So I will share this file, which is the test, on various platforms, if you will, like the classroom, the Remind, and the Drive file to all the students. They can then practice and study. I'm going to share that out today, which is Wednesday, the 20th. The last thing I wanted to show was, I'll zoom in down here, because when you open Smartboard, for some reason it freezes this whole thing I'm doing. But if I zoom in, the essay that we already started discussing, students, actually I made them write or type this down though. The essay is, how did the experience of the early colonists shape America's political and social ideals? So it's from page 59 in the textbook. The idea I discussed with students is to have an intro, a paragraph about New England, a paragraph about the Middle colonies, a paragraph about the Southern, and then a conclusion. Right? Intro, students will list 3 types of colonies, and they will also discuss the factors that they will talk about in each body paragraph. And then in each paragraph, they will talk about these factors, and the factors would include, religion, culture, social classes, economy for the social aspect, and then for the political aspect would be government, voting. I'm podcasting right now, Mr. Vago.
I know.
So voting, government, and who went there to that section and why. That's what this right here in the essay will go in each paragraph. New England, you have to talk about these things in New England, these things in Middle, these things in Southern. Oh, and can't forget And social class is also slavery there. How do you forget that, Mr. Wagner? I'm not sure. So students kind of wrote this down already, but you can ask them. It should still be in their notebook. And then in conclusion, you would summarize the political and social ideals that arose. And mention a comparison, similarity that became the American identity. A few similarities, wouldn't it be? So the essay is slightly different in a couple of my classes, and you can check with students to see what they wrote down. It is a little bit different from class to class as far as exactly what we wrote down. But then there are a couple of classes where it's just the format's a little different, and you should check in with the students on that, and they'll have it clearly in their notes. The essay will be the same day as the test, done in class, I should say. So students will have a block, and then if they need extra time, obviously I'll give that at lunch or the next time we have class in the last week of September. So that's it for this podcast or discussion of what we've been doing in class. And it's been fun learning about the colonies and watching the students use their technological skills. And then we get into the slow build up towards the American Revolution in October. So thanks, and stay in touch.